In the quiet of silence, the deepest connections often find their way back. Today we're going to look at the intriguing dynamics of relationships through the view of Stoic philosophy. Specifically, we'll talk about why women might return after a breakup. Stoicism, with its deep teachings on resilience, reflection, and independence, offers a unique view on personal growth and emotional reconciliation. We will look at how the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation not only promote personal integrity, but also improve our interactions with others. This perspective encourages people to think about themselves during separation, which may lead to stronger, more mindful relationships. Knowing these Stoic principles, we can learn about the quiet things that might make a woman want to get involved again after taking a break. If this mix of ancient knowledge and relationship dynamics speaks to you, please like it and subscribe to our channel. We'll be sure to give you more helpful videos in the future. It establishes a link between the timeless concepts and the intricate connections of today. Let's get one. The power of absence began with the power of absence in a world where we are told to always chase, to always be present, and to never let go. While the idea of stepping back may seem strange, embracing your absence and creating distance can be one of the most powerful things you can do. It's not about playing games or trying to get someone to miss you. It's about giving them time to think, grow, and understand what really matters. This is where the principles of Stoicism come into play. Stoicism stresses focusing on what you can control and letting go of the rest. When there is no contact, you can use this old saying, you can't control how the other person feels, what they're doing, or whether they'll eventually reach out to you, but you can control how you carry yourself during that absence. Thus, you can choose your thoughts, actions, and response. This is where your strength lies. Let me illustrate. Taking a step back allows the other person to experience your absence. Without constant communication, they can think about you and what you brought into their lives. Their minds may wander about your unique qualities and how you enriched their lives. This is the silent power of absence. It gives someone a break from the noise and activities that might be distracting them. It gives them time to enjoy something they might have missed. Women, like everyone else, need time and space to work through their feelings and thoughts when you're not around. They can think about what's important to them and start to understand that the qualities you possessed, like confidence, stability, and emotional strength, are difficult to find elsewhere. Going away is clear, and sometimes it's only in the quiet that they realize how valuable you are. This is why a woman might come back after not talking to you for a while. Maybe it wasn't what you said or did, but the time apart gave her time to think about what she missed. This idea closely aligns with the Stoic principle of self-control during no contact, not playing mind games or trying to get someone back, focusing on your own growth, development, and peace of mind. You're not anxiously waiting for a text or call. Instead, you're accepting the situation as it is, knowing that you can't change it. This inner calm and self-assurance is incredibly attractive. It's a quiet confidence that says, I'm at peace whether you're in my life or not. When you demonstrate that you're not dependent on others for your happiness, it transforms you into a person who attracts others. You're not chasing or looking for approval. You're living your life with purpose and honesty. This emotional strength says a lot. It's not neediness, and it's exactly the kind of energy that can make someone want to be with you. Whenever a woman reconnects with you after a while, remember that it's not about winning her back, ego, or validation. The time apart has served a purpose for both of you. After seeing how valuable you are and having the chance to grow and discover what you deserve, she returns. Your time apart is about you, as well as her acceptance. You've used that time to work on yourself, and whether she comes back or not, you're better for it. Number 2. Having mental control and staying calm too. Controlling your emotions and staying calm. Imagine yourself in a situation where uncertainty reigned and your emotions began to tug you in various directions. To react, it's simple to text her, call her, or try to get a reaction. However, this is precisely when the Stoic principles of emotional control become invaluable. When there is silence or doubt, a Stoic man knows that staying calm is his greatest strength. When there is a period of no contact, a Stoic man doesn't freak out or act out of fear. Instead, he stays calm, collected, and grounded. This emotional stability not only shows strength, but it also communicates self-respect and confidence, which are qualities that women naturally find attractive. If you're always reaching out, let's break it down. What does it mean when you keep sending her messages or even act desperate because she hasn't replied? Fear-based emotional reactions show that you don't have control. Conversely, demonstrating emotional mastery involves restraining yourself and creating space. That is much more powerful. Women are drawn to men who can control their emotions, especially when there is tension between them and the other person. They desire to witness your resilience and your ability to manage Grace's uncertainty through composure. By doing this, you project a sense of security and stability that makes her reconsider her silence and think twice about her decision to step away. The key takeaway is that a woman gravitates towards you when she perceives your emotional mastery and resilience. She begins to wonder why you're so calm and not chasing her, and this curiosity draws her back to you. In a world where emotional responses are common, your calmness stands out. Therefore, the next time you find yourself isolated and unable to reach anyone, remember the strength of maintaining emotional control rather than reacting spontaneously. Take a deep breath and embrace the silence with strength. It will help you stay grounded, and that may even be what brings her back to you. Do you remember times when you struggled to control your emotions? Have you ever acted on your feelings instead of your reason, or have you learned to stay calm when things aren't clear? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, whether you want to share a personal story or just type "Composure is strength." Encourage a more in-depth talk, and if this discussion is helpful to you, please be sure to like the video. This indicates to me that you are interested in seeing more content similar to this. Respect for boundaries. When you say you won't call or text her after a breakup or during a rough patch, you're not only avoiding calls and texts, you're sending a powerful message that says, "I respect your space and I respect mine." You're not chasing after her or begging for her attention, which is important because it shows emotional maturity and control, two things that Stoicism values very highly. Stoicism teaches us that we can't force other people to stay in our lives. We can only control ourselves, our reactions, decisions, and emotions. The more we try to control what is outside of us, the more we suffer. By choosing to stick to no contact, you are embodying this Stoic wisdom. You're showing that you understand the importance of personal boundaries and that you have the strength to respect them, both hers and your own. Imagine this scenario. You're in a relationship that comes to an end, and rather than frantically trying to fix things, you step back, you give her the space she needs, and more important, certainly you give yourself the time to grow. You don't flood her with messages or try to convince her to come back. Instead, you focus on improving yourself emotionally, mentally, even physically. You embrace the time apart as an opportunity to become stronger, more centered, and more in control of your life. This isn't about playing hard to get or using manipulation tactics. It's about without genuinely understanding that sometimes space is necessary for both people to see things more clearly, and in that space she begins to notice something: you didn't fall apart without her. You didn't beg or lose your composure. You handled the distance with grace. You've shown her that you are not dependent on her for your happiness, that you value yourself enough to maintain your dignity even in her absence. This kind of composure is incredibly attractive. When a man doesn't break down mentally when they break up with a woman, it shows a level of self-respect and inner strength that stands out. When you tell her, "I respect your decision, and I respect myself enough to not chase you," she will believe you. Women respect that they respect the fact that you can give them space without panicking. They respect that you value yourself enough to not lose yourself over the relationship. Let's say weeks or even months go by. You've been out of touch, not because you're trying to win her back, but because you've recognized that at this moment, giving each other space is the most respectful thing you can do during that time. You've grown. You've embraced the Stoic principle of focusing on what within your control, your mind, your habits, your outlook on life. Maybe you've taken up new hobbies, reconnected with old friends, or simply become more comfortable with yourself. And then one day she reaches out. Maybe it's a simple text, or perhaps she wants to meet up. Why? It's because in the time apart, she's seen your strength. She's realized that you're not like most men who would chase after her, suffocating her with attention. You respected her boundaries. And in doing so, you've demonstrated a sense of self-worth that draws her back in relationships. Respect for boundaries isn't just a tactic. It's a core principle of Stoicism. It's a reflection of strength, self-respect, and emotional maturity. When a woman sees that you respect her space without losing yourself in the process, it often makes her see you in a new light. You become someone she wants to be around, not because you need her, but because you have shown that you can thrive with or without her. Number 4, growth during absence. The Stoics had a powerful belief. 4. Growth. During their absence, they saw hardship as an opportunity to grow stronger and better. They saw every problem, even heartbreak, as a chance to get better. During the time you haven't talked to her, don't just wait for her to text or call. Instead, use that time to improve yourself. The silence between you two is a chance to work on your emotions, body, and mind. You might have started a new hobby, joined a gym, moved up in your career, or just found more peace of mind. These changes don't just make you look better on the outside. They show a deeper, more confident, and more grounded version of yourself. This is what catches her attention. Witnessing this new you, a man who embraces the present and doesn't linger on the past, reminds her why she initially gravitated towards you. It's not just about looks. It's about how you handle life's challenges and your emotional security. That growth, that energy you're putting into getting better, becomes magnetic. Imagine if she looked at your social media and saw a man who's changing. Maybe she saw you taking care of your health, working on your passion projects, or just being more at peace. That change can create a strong pull. It's as if you've transformed into a better, more beautiful version of yourself for your own sake, not for her. The Stoics would advise you to do that. Don't wait for someone else to tell you how valuable you are. Instead, prove it to yourself. In the end, she might return not because you're still the same person she left, but because you've transformed into a new person who isn't waiting for her, but is focused on becoming their best self. And that, my friend, is irresistible now that we've discussed the importance of growing while away. Please let me know what you think about this idea. Are you currently focused on yourself, or have you ever been through a time when personal growth helped you move forward? Leave a comment or type your story below. 5. I choose growth. Let's keep going on this path together. Why independence is important in the idea of 5. The appeal of independent Stoicism. One of the most important tenets is learning to rely on yourself for your sense of happiness and purpose. Stoics believe that true strength and contentment come from within, not from the approval, love, or validation of others. The only thing we can truly control is how we respond to the events in our lives. Everything else is out of our hands in the context of relationships. This mindset creates a unique kind of freedom. It means you're no longer depending on someone else to make you feel whole, and that independence is incredibly attractive. Here's why no one, whether it's a man or a woman, wants to be with someone who is completely dependent on them for their happiness. It's overwhelming, and over time it can drain the relationship when you're fully reliant on another person. For emotional stability, you create a dynamic where they feel responsible for your well-being, and that's not love, it's obligation. When you've embraced the Stoic principle of self-reliance, however you flip the narrative, you're no longer clinging to the relationship or the person. Instead, you've taken the time to focus on yourself, your personal growth, your passions, and your own journey. And here's where the magic happens. Women often come back when they see that you're not just surviving without them, you're thriving. For example, after a painful breakup, one man decided to focus on improving his career and personal health. He started hiking, traveling, and making new friends, all without trying to get his ex back. His friends noticed the positive changes in his attitude, outlook, and energy, and when his ex found out about them, she started to wonder what had changed and how he had been able to move on so smoothly. It wasn't about feigning happiness or engaging in emotional manipulation. The Stoic thought that he could make himself happy was something he really believed in. Independence. Being cool and sure of yourself sends a strong message. It's not that you've lost interest in her, but rather that you've ceased depending on her for emotional stability. You've shown that you can live a full, worthwhile life without her, which makes you much more attractive. Should she change her mind, she might begin to gravitate towards this new version of you. It's not manipulation, it's what happens when you perfect yourself. A woman may come back to you after not talking to you for a while because she feels a change inside you. It's not that she feels guilty or like she made a mistake. It's that she sees how strong you've become during your time apart. When she sees that you're happy and thriving without needing her to make you feel complete, she may start to miss the version of you she didn't appreciate before you stopped needing her, which is ironically when people often find their way back to you. Being cold and indifferent or closing people out isn't the point. Be so confident in yourself that you don't need others to tell you how valuable you are. When a woman sees that you're doing well on your own and have learned to be independent, it makes her want to be with you again. This isn't because you're deceiving her. Rather, it's because you've demonstrated that you don't require her happiness to feel content, and that's when genuine connection begins once more. This, my friends, is the power of freedom, which often brings people back into your life unexpectedly. You've let go, you've moved on, and now you're even more attractive than you were before. Don't forget to respect yourself. During a breakup, it's easy to succumb to the temptation of begging, lowering your standards, or chasing her back to win her back. However, a Stoic man refrains from such actions, understanding that his self-worth remains independent of external validation. He doesn't beg, he doesn't compromise his values, and he definitely doesn't lose his dignity. Instead, he stays calm, focuses on his own growth, and lets go of the things he can't change. This is where the magic happens, friends. Women like guys who hold themselves to a higher standard. This isn't about being cocky or trying too hard to get what you want. It's about having real respect. A Stoic man understands that he can't control someone else's actions or emotions, but he has full control over his own. What does he choose to do? He chooses to stand firm, to respect himself, and to maintain his dignity regardless of what happens next. Imagine a scenario where she expected you to crumble. Perhaps she expected you to send endless texts or beg her to reconsider, but instead you remained silent, not out of anger or bitterness, but out of self-reflection. When she returns, it's not the same person she left. It's someone who has shown strength, discipline, and an unwavering sense of self-respect. Why is that so powerful? It's because many people often lose themselves after a breakup, chasing validation from their ex, compromising their values, and forgetting their own worth in the process. However, a man who stands firm in his integrity is someone worth noticing. When something undesirable happens, a stoic man doesn't let it change who he is. He knows that his worth doesn't rest on whether she stays or leaves. Independence is both attractive and magnetic. When a woman sees that you've kept your self-respect and not given up on your values, it changes her view of you. She sees that you're not the type of man who gives up easily under pressure. That kind of strength is magnetic. It's the kind of strength that draws people back, not because you're playing a game, but because you've shown that your sense of self isn't dependent on other people's actions. When you hold yourself with dignity, respect your own boundaries, and refuse to compromise your values, you become someone worth coming back to, not because of manipulation or strategy, but because of who you've become, a man whose sense of self-worth. A man who follows the principles of Stoicism doesn't need anyone else to confirm his existence, and that, my friends, is irresistible. If you've made it this far, I want you to pause and reflect on this way of life, where you stand firm on your values and refuse to succumb to negative situations like breakups. Have you ever encountered a situation where honesty and steadfastness were crucial? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if this idea of self-worth and emotional independence speaks to you, let me know by typing, "I choose to stand firm." I hope you are enjoying the video so far. Please remember to like it and continue the conversation. 7. Confidence without being cocky. Though not all confidence is the same, self-confidence is attractive. The kind of confidence that draws a woman back to you comes from within, from a place of inner strength and self-understanding, not from ego or outside reinforcement. True confidence isn't about bragging about getting someone's approval or projecting a certain image. It's about focusing on what you can control and letting go of everything else, like how someone else feels or reacts. But why does this matter in the context of no contact? If you take the time to really think about yourself, grow, and become more in tune with the core principles of Stoicism, then you come out of the experience different. Now that you're not worried, insecure, or too attached to what others think, you have a quiet, grounded confidence that doesn't need to shout to be noticed, and women like that. Arrogance is loud, it's in your face, and it often comes from a place of insecurity. People often feel compelled to demonstrate their worth in order to gain others' admiration, but Stoicism fosters a distinct confidence. It's soft yet firm, steady and unshakable. When a woman encounters this version of you, it creates a sense of intrigue. You're no longer looking to her for validation or trying to win her over. You've already validated yourself. You're comfortable in your own skin, and that kind of self-assurance radiates without effort. Let me give you an example. Imagine after weeks or even months of no contact, she reaches out. She doesn't know what it is, but something feels different about you. You're calm, composed and present. There's no tension, no anxiety, no need to impress her. You're simply being yourself. But this version of you is more self-assured and at peace with who you are. You're not boasting about how much you've changed or what you've accomplished in the time apart. Instead, your actions and demeanor naturally convey it. That's the power of being sure of yourself without being cocky. It's what draws her back. She starts to wonder what's different about him and why he seems so much more grounded now. She can feel the inner strength you've built, which naturally makes her curious. She can see that you're no longer someone who needs outside approval to feel worthy. You've become someone who can stand on their own 2 feet. Your inner compass guides you, so if a woman contacts you again after a breakup, it's not because you've pursued her or tried to prove your worth, but rather because you've grown more confident. This new energy is magnetic. It tells her without words that you're not the same person who needed her approval before. Now you're someone who knows their own worth. Someone who is content, both with and without her, exudes a confidence that compels her to step back. It's not pride, but a strong, quiet sense of self-worth that says a lot. Number 8. How important is time apart? Let's talk about something like 8. You might be surprised by how powerful time apart can be. People say that being away from someone makes your heart grow fonder. But what if there's more to it? Why does a woman come back after not talking to you for a while? The answer lies not only in how you feel when you miss someone, but also in a deep change in your mind and personality, which is something that Stoicism speaks to beautifully. Time apart isn't just a way to calm down. It's also a chance for both of you to think about things, take a step back from the emotional storm, and see things with fresh eyes. In the heat of the moment, we often act on impulses that make it hard to see the truth of a situation. But once the dust settles, that's when real reflection starts. In relationships, as in life, Stoicism teaches us the value of time and self-reflection. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, always told himself to focus on what he could control and to make beneficial use of his time. This is exactly what you should do during a breakup. Use the time to improve yourself and grow. The point isn't to make her miss you or play mind games, but to grow. Follow your dreams and, most importantly, become a more grounded version of yourself. When a woman comes back to you after a breakup, it's usually because she can tell that you've changed, that you've grown and used the time to improve yourself, that you're not the same person she left behind. Maybe you've learned new fitness skills or gained peace and confidence that weren't there before. This change can be very attractive. Your change has made you better, not because you want her back. That's when women come back because they know they'll find a different, better version of you. You didn't just wait. You took this time seriously, and that's when the magic happens. Time apart is beneficial because it makes both of you think about what's most important to her. She might realize that the connection you shared was stronger than she thought. For you, it's a chance to strengthen your inner world. In the end, if she does come back, it's not just because she misses you, it's because she sees a change. Stoics use time wisely, so don't be afraid of time apart. Embrace it and use it to become a person everyone wants to return to, not just her. That's the true power of time apart, and it's one of the reasons people come back after being apart. Please share your thoughts on this topic with me. Do you think that spending time apart truly affects relationships? Has anyone returned to your life after a long time? Tell me about it in the comments below, or if you'd rather, just type, "I value my time," to let me know that you're using your time wisely, whether it's for relationships or personal growth. Let's start a conversation. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Number 9. Peace of mind and patience. 9. Patience and peace of mind. Imagine that after a while of not talking to her, you've stayed calm, patient, and focused on yourself. You haven't been calling her or chasing her down. Instead, you've been practicing stoicism by being patient and finding inner peace. Then, out of the blue, she contacts you again. Why does this happen? It's not magic or a trick. It's the natural effect of being stoic. As you follow the stoic path, you learn to relinquish the need to control everything. You stop forcing people or situations, especially when it comes to relationships. Stoicism teaches us to accept that life moves at its own pace, not ours. This is especially important in relationships. Instead of trying to mend things after a breakup, you should take a step back, focus on your mental and emotional health, and perhaps even start new hobbies or goals. You didn't send her a lot of messages or try to force a reconnection. You just let the process happen naturally, trusting that whatever happens is the right path. When a woman senses that kind of inner peace in a man, it changes how she sees you. Suddenly, she no longer senses the pressure and desperation to make things work. She begins to notice your self-satisfaction, and this is crucial. Women gravitate towards men who are at peace with themselves, as it provides a sense of safety. In partnerships, safety is very important. Emotional safety means making her feel like she can come back to you without fear. This is especially true when you show confidence and peace of mind. Focusing on your own growth and not judging or pressuring her, that calm energy is what makes her feel safe enough to reach out again. When she finally reaches out, you're not surprised because you know that your patience and inner peace have enabled her to decide on her own terms to reconnect. That's the power of Stoicism in relationships. You show her that you're strong enough to wait and smart enough to accept whatever comes your way. Patience is key in everything you do, not just getting her back. When you cultivate this calm, peaceful energy, you not only make her feel safe, but you also strengthen your own character, showing that you can handle whatever life throws at you. That's what Stoicism is all about. Before we end, let's think about why women might come back after the conclusion. People often think that during the silence, they can feel the deep change that has happened in your emotional maturity during a period of no contact. Your newfound freedom, your self-respect, and your increased self-confidence are evident. This show of strength while you're not there is a strong draw. Remember that having no contact isn't about playing games or planning when someone will come back. Stoicism teaches us the virtues of self-improvement and honesty, pushing us to become our best selves for our own good, not just to affect others. If you find yourself in a no-contact situation, see it as a rare chance to grow as a person. Make yourself feel better about yourself and get stronger. Your growth and peace should always come first, so making peace should be a side effect of your progress, not the main goal. Regardless of her return, you will gain more respect, accumulate wealth, and experience overall happiness. If this point of view speaks to you, please click the like button. If you want to learn more, subscribe and share your experiences in the comments below. How have you used Stoic principles in your relationships and life? Let's keep the conversation going. Watch the video that is currently playing to learn more about how to apply Stoicism in everyday situations. Stay strong, calm down, and keep doing well.